Have you ever caught yourself thinking, why am I still doing this? I should know better. Why am I still struggling with this? If people really knew me, what would they think? Most of us don't accept those thoughts for what they are. We assume it's just self-criticism. But often there's something different. They're the quiet voice of shame. And today I want to talk about why that voice keeps so many women stuck and how we can loosen its grip. If we haven't met yet, I'm Elaine Louise Stewart, and I work with women who are 50 and above who feel like they've lost themselves somewhere in their life and are ready to reconnect with themselves with greater awareness and self-trust. Today, I want to share 3 ideas that have helped me understand shame better. First, shame grows in silence and secrecy. Second, self-compassion weakens shame's grip. And third, understanding yourself creates freedom from shame. One of the reasons it's so difficult to unearth shame is because it rarely shows itself. Instead, it whispers, "You should have figured this out by now. Everybody else has it together. How come you don't?" And if people really knew us better, they would think less of us. It convinces us to hide parts of ourselves, not because we're trying to be dishonest, but because we're afraid of what those parts might mean about us. The hardest part is that women don't even realize that shame is affecting how they feel about themselves, how they see themselves. They simply believe these thoughts are true. For me, shame wasn't loud. It felt like an invisible wall. Whenever I got close to certain feelings or memories, the thought came into my head, "Don't go there." I wasn't really afraid of the memories. I was afraid of what they might say about me. What if these feelings were proof that there really is something wrong with me? What if they confirmed my deepest fears? Over time, I realized something really important. The wall wasn't protecting me. It was keeping me disconnected from the parts of me that needed understanding and self-compassion. What helped me wasn't forcing me to relive everything. It was simply acknowledging that shame was part of my experience. And just saying that to myself reduced its power. I didn't need to tell the world. I didn't need to explain it to somebody else. I simply began bringing those memories into the light with curiosity, not self-criticism. There's nothing wrong with you if you have experienced shame. In fact, shame is part of all of us, no matter who we are, male, female, rich, poor, it doesn't matter whether we had the greatest childhood and upbringing or not. There's an element of shame that we all carry, and it starts really young, like in infancy. And it's not even noticeable. It's not like someone acted in a certain way. It was, they forgot to notice me as an infant. And what did I make that mean about me? Now, I'm not talking about a cognitive thing, but there's a feeling, there's an emotion that says, something's wrong with me. She's not paying attention to me anymore. What keeps it alive is believing that we have to carry it alone and keep it hidden. I'd like to offer you 2 practices. Next time you hear yourself asking, "What's wrong with me?" I want you to pause. Replace that question with, "What happened that made me believe this about myself?" Notice the difference? One leads to shame. The other one leads to understanding. The second practice is for you to write down one thing you've been hiding from yourself. Not from everybody else, just from yourself. And then gently ask yourself, can I meet this part of myself with compassion instead of criticism? You never have to share it with anybody. Sometimes just bringing it out into the light And looking at it can break shame's hold over you. Here's what I hope you'll remember. Shame loses much of its power when you finally understand that shame does not have the final word on who you are. You are so much more than the stories that shame has been telling you. Healing doesn't happen because we become perfect. It happens because we become more honest, more compassionate, and more willing to stay connected to ourselves. Remember, shame grows in secrecy and silence. Self-compassion weakens shame's grip. Understanding yourself creates freedom from self-criticism. That's how we begin to move forward, not by hiding, but by meeting ourselves with kindness. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever heard that inner quiet voice say, "What's wrong with me?" Or "I should know better"? Let me know in the comments. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every week for women who are 50 and above who want to reconnect with themselves and create their life in a different way. Next week, we're talking about what emotional autopilot really looks like. But before you go, what if saying no isn't the real problem? Download my free No Without Guilt guide and discover the small shift that can change the way you make decisions in your life. The link is in the description box below. You've done brave things before. This is just the next step. Thank you for listening. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.